Welcome to our tax tutorial brought to you by taxfriendonline.com. Today we're going to cover the topic deducting medical and dental expenses on the Schedule A. So now for this tutorial we're going to go to the website www.taxfriendonline.com, and if you scroll down to the bottom there's a section on the very bottom that says deductions. So we want to go to the itemized deductions, and the first subsection is medical expenses checklist. We'll click that link and come to the medical expenses checklist page. And on this page is just a handy checklist for all allowable medical and dental expenses that you can deduct. So for example, you can deduct bandages, birth control pills prescribed by a doctor, body scan, braille books, chiropractor, and so forth. And on the second column here is medical expenses that don't qualify. For example, babysitting and childcare, bottled water, contributions to Archer MSA, diaper service, and so forth. So if you have a medical expense and you're not sure if it's deductible, I would suggest coming to this website and going through this checklist and to make sure that it is on the items that are itemizable. So now that we went over medical and dental expenses that you can itemize, you can deduct medical expenses for yourself, any dependents claimed on your return, any person who was your dependent at the time you paid the expense, and any person you could have claimed as a dependent except that person did not qualify because they received $3,650 or more of gross income or filed a joint return. The next step is to gather all your medical and dental receipts. But you have to remember you can only deduct medical and dental expenses that you paid out of pocket. So any medical insurance payments or employee benefits paid towards medical and dental expenses, you must subtract those from the total medical expenses in order to get your out-of-pocket medical expenses paid. So now I'm going to quickly go over some common overlooked medical deductions. You can deduct transportation costs due to a medical visit, lodging costs due to a medical visit, cost of living in a retirement or nursing home, and finally, home improvements that are required due to a medical condition. So let's talk about transportation costs related to a medical visit. You can deduct the cost of public transportation, taxi, and airfare that is related to a medical visit. Now, if you're driving there, you can deduct the actual cost of oil and gas, but not insurance, general repairs, and maintenance. Or you can deduct the standard car expense deduction, which is 19 cents a mile from January 1st through June 30th, or $23.50 a mile from July 1st through the end of the year. Now I'm going to talk about lodging costs, itemizing lodging costs due to a medical visit. Now you can itemize lodging costs if it is primarily for and essential to a medical care, and the medical care provided must be by a doctor in a licensed hospital or in a medical care facility related to or to the equivalent of a licensed hospital. The lodging cannot be lavish or extravagant under the circumstances. And finally, there cannot be a significant element of personal pleasure, recreation, or vacation in the travel away from home. So you can deduct up to $50 each night per person. So if a parent is traveling with a child, you can deduct up to $100. And unfortunately, meals are not going to be included in the deduction. Now finally, I'm going to talk about itemizing home improvement costs due to a medical condition. So home improvements that are required due to a medical condition can be itemized as a medical expense. Now if the home improvement increases the value of the home, you must subtract that increase in value from the cost. What do I mean? Let's take Ben as an example. He has asthma and his doctor recommended a central air conditioning system. The system costs $2,000 and an appraiser assessed the increase in value of his home by $500. So Ben can itemize $1,500 for medical expenses. The cost of the air conditioning system, $2,000, minus the increase in value, $500. So now that we figured our medical and dental expenses and we subtracted it from any insurance payments and compensation from work, we want to put the total medical expenses and dental expenses paid out of pocket here in box number 1 of the Schedule A form. So let's say total medical expenses paid out of pocket is $3,000. And then in box 2 it says enter the amount from form 1040 line 38. Line 38 of the 1040 is your adjusted gross income. So let's say for the sake of this example, the adjusted gross income was $32,000. Now you have to multiply line 2 by 7.5%. So 32, multiply that by 7.5%, comes out to $2,400. And then we have to subtract line 3 from line 1. So medical expenses was $3,000, line 3 was $2,400. We have to subtract 3 from 1 and we get $600. So unfortunately, you can't deduct all your medical and dental expenses. You can only deduct a portion of it based on your adjusted gross income. And in this example, we can deduct $600 of our medical expenses out of $3,000 total.